A sellout crowd here in Kumasi greets Ghana and Nigeria, these historic West African rivals going head to head in this decisive playoff tie. Only one of them will make it to the World Cup at the end of this year in Qatar. Jordan Ayew on that left flank, powering forward. Trustekong coming across to cover. Felix Afena-Gyan in the middle. Ayew's ball in, collected by Uzoho. Their neighbours to the east. Brought down by Isahaku. Comes inside onto his left foot. The shot is blocked. Mohamed Kudus playing in that attacking midfield role in support of Felix Afena-Gyan. It's laid back by him. There's the shot. A thunderous effort from Isahaku. Turned behind by Francis Uzoho. It's the clearest chance we've had yet. Trustekong finding himself. Emmanuel Dennis, of course, wasn't there either for the Super Eagles. Comes out to Partey, hits it well, it's gone in under the goalkeeper. And Thomas Partey gives Ghana the lead here. A stunned silence descends on the stadium in Abuja, because the Black Stars have that precious away goal. And it's Thomas Partey who gets it. He's already proven in this qualifying campaign that he can do real damage shooting from distance. That time, well, maybe it's a shot that should have been saved by the goalkeeper. It went right through Uzoho. And it's first blood to Ghana. An absolute nightmare for the Omonia Nicosia goalkeeper. Short and very poor first touch by Etibo. Completely taking the sting out of that set-piece opportunity. Dennis. Trustekong flighting it up towards the edge of the box. Headed away by Idrisu Baba. Calvin Bassey. New look left flank for the home team this evening, with Calvin Bassey and Ademola Lookman both starting for the first time for the Super Eagles. Here is Lookman. Down he goes. Big appeals for a penalty for the Nigerian supporters. The referee was right there. He's not interested. It's still alive though. Lookman playing it in, looking for Onyeka. Still alive for Nigeria. Saved by the goalkeeper. We'll take a close look. Now remember, there was a penalty decision that was overturned by the VAR in the first leg in Kumasi. Nigerians thought they had a penalty then, it wasn't given. This is the incident here. Ademola Lookman has the ball. Daniel Amartey on one side. It's Dennis Odoi who comes in from the other side and appears to catch the Nigerian player. Does he play the ball? It is a very difficult call for the referee. It is a very big call indeed. It's a penalty. Nigeria have the spot kick and a chance to get themselves back on level terms on the night. Goodness me, well, Ghana's World Cup qualifying campaign has been a story of penalties in some respects. They stand to attention down in the Nigerian technical area. A massive moment in this game, in this tie, and for Nigeria's World Cup hopes. Trustekong from the spot. confidently dispatched. Wollacott went the other way. And the skipper makes it 1-1. And Nigeria right back in this. It's difficult to break down. They've worked ever so hard. It's not a team with many superstars in it, especially when you take Andre Ayew out. But maybe the one superstar, Thomas Partey, did show up tonight with that early goal, which left Nigeria up against it from the off. Aussie men's header down, no takers. The 5 minutes of stoppage time have come and gone. And Ghana have done it. Ghana have qualified for the World Cup. They have beaten their West African rivals Nigeria on away goals. After a tense second leg here in Abuja, which matched the tension of the first leg. We had the goals tonight. Thomas Partey's early opener had Ghana in the driving seat from the 11th minute. And although Nigeria quickly got themselves back on level terms on the night with the penalty from William Troost-Ekong, they couldn't get the second goal they needed. They never really looked like getting the second goal in the second half. And it's the small band of Ghanaian supporters here in Abuja tonight who are celebrating despair for the Nigerians. They will not be there in Qatar after appearing at 6 of the last 7.
And that was how the cookie crumbled. The Black Stars of Ghana making us proud, all of us as a country, making us forget momentarily, if you like, the economic woes and the suffering that we've been complaining about. The Black Stars did it for us at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja. Some concern, though, about the scenes we saw in the aftermath, people pouring onto the pitch and all of that. Of course, the Nigerian players distraught yesterday on the back of that draw, which means that Ghana has booked its ticket to Qatar 2022 later in the year. We are not alone. Neighbors, Senegal, have made it as well. Cameroon in Central Africa has made it. Tunisia and Morocco as well, adding to the numbers as we head for the Mundial. Now, joining me for a discussion, yesterday we had an interaction with members of our team, Joy Sports editor George Addo Jr., together with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi, all of them in Nigeria. They're still there. We'll have an interaction with them, gauge what happened there, the mood, the Ghanaians, and what exactly the prospects are moving forward. They'll give us their assessment of the team's performance yesterday. We also have Coach Nana Agyemang, who will be joining us. And yes, in fact, I can see him there. Nana Agyemang had a lot to say about the Black Stars ahead of this qualifier. I'll be asking him what his take is now on the Black Stars after this performance. But let me start with saying greetings to all of you. It's still a good morning to all of you because I know one is in Ghana and the other two are in Nigeria. George, Muftau, Nana Agyemang, good morning to you. Thank you for connecting.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Ben. Thanks for having us.
All right, so Muftau Nabila Abdullahi, Nana Agyemang, I want you to join me to do something very important. Today happens to be the birthday of George Addo Jr. So I want you to join me as we sing a happy birthday song to him. Are you ready?
Happy birthday
to you, George. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday.
The sound voice is good.
Happy birthday to you. Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray.
Many cheers to you, George. It's a Kenya birthday for you. I guess a very fitting birthday present that, His Excellency the President's birthday yesterday, but for you, it's today. Fitting birthday present?
Yeah, very, very. I mean, I spoke to Coach Otoado and he says, I did it for you. Ket told me yesterday that we're going to qualify. It's going to be my birthday present. And I predicted a 1-1 draw and it happened. And yesterday we were on cloud 9. You know what? When I got into the Black Stars Hotel, they said, George, eat. I didn't feel like eating for about 2 hours. I only started feeling hungry, perhaps at 1 a.m. So it's a fantastic feeling to know that the Black Stars has qualified for the World Cup. And it's such a special time in our careers to get to cover the Black Stars at the World Cup. We love this.
Right. A quick one back to you, George. You predicted this yesterday. You said we would have a draw, but it would be a scoring draw, which would mean that whether it was 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, whatever it was, we would qualify. Do you feel justified? I mean, how did you feel sitting there when the first goal went in from Thomas Partey, and then shortly afterwards, we had the penalty decision? How did you feel?
Yeah, I even went ahead to say it was going to be a 1-1 draw because I thought that we didn't have too many goals in our side, and I didn't see us scoring more than 2 goals. I mean, more than a goal in Nigeria. So if you look at the subplot of the game, it was one in which Nigeria had to come out and really make their fans happy by scoring, but that was going to fall into the hands of the Black Stars. So the Black Stars getting the first goal, for me, I was like, wow, this means that they have been dealt a psychological blow. They know they have to score 2 goals. The penalty, I'm not so convinced. I don't know what Nana Ajman would say about that, but I was not so convinced about the penalty. But anyway, once they had that, the second half was pretty flat for Nigeria, and Ghana was able to handle them. So I was very excited about it. The manner in which the Nigerians wanted to, get around Ghana, but they were not able to do so. And we managed to qualify, there to the World Cup. So it was, for me, it was very, very important. But it was a result that I thought was most likely with the way that both sides had set up on the day.
Right. Just to let you know, there are congratulatory messages pouring in for you on our social media. Facebook, Kwame J says, happy birthday, George. Molai Skari, happy birthday, George. Wukao Wajesti, happy birthday, brother. So you're being celebrated. Today you're trending, George Addo Jr. But let me quickly come to... I know you're enjoying it. Bask in the sun while you still can. Yeah. Let me come to Nana Ajman, coach. So we have George Addo Jr. saying that for him, that was a bit of a soft penalty. He didn't think it was a penalty. Do you agree?
It was a soft penalty, but a penalty nonetheless. I think Whitman had the ball in a good area. He was shielding it very well with his body. And basically, it was like as if there was a tap on his boot from Dennis Odoi, and that was sufficient enough for him to go down. And it looks like a clutter. And you've got to understand where we were. We're in Nigeria, even though we had VAR. Once the referee was directed to take another look, it was almost going to be certain that the referee would call for a penalty. There you see it there. He is in between the ball and the defender. You've just rewinded it there. He's coming forward now, and he's got the edge on him. And so Dennis Odoi comes in on him on the right-hand side, and he goes down. I think you've got to give it. The referee didn't give it at the time, but that's the reason why we've got VAR. I've got no problems with it because it didn't change anything. So it's neither here nor there now.
And so it's a decision that the coach could have gone either way, and he decided to go the way of a penalty, and he was right. He was spot on then.
Yeah, I think, VAR said it was a penalty, and it was a penalty it was. It didn't make any difference because, as George has said, psychologically the blow had been dealt, and the Nigerians knew that they couldn't sit back and defend on a 1-1. They had to come out and play. And if we were able to contain them, it was going to be over.
What do you make generally of the performance of the Black Stars yesterday? And as you give your verdict, yes, they've qualified, but how much of an improvement has it been from AFCON to now? You had some choice words for the Black Stars in the past, and I'll get to some of what you said, but how different is their performance? People have criticized the likes of Jordan Ayew, the likes of Jojo, Wallacott, but it appears they are proving themselves, their mettle. How do you assess the team?
Well, I think it was a very, very much improved performance, and I give a lot of credit to the technical team because they've only had about 72 hours with these boys on the pitch. Granted, they may have been sharing WhatsApp messages in the run-up to all of this, but with just 72 hours, the first match, I was very impressed at Kumasi. I was impressed. Obviously, we couldn't score any goals, and that is where the main weakness of the Stars were. But to be honest with you, the performance they put up to hold Nigeria, to maintain that draw was very good. You go over to Lagos where they haven't got a dog's chance, a cat's chance in hell of winning this match, of qualifying. 60,000 in the stadium. We know it's going to be seriously hostile. the Nigerians coming out to play, but we still did it. The early goal was a major blow to them. Psychologically, that was a major blow, and it was a major boost to the Black Stars. And I think over 2 matches, the improvement from CK, from Milo, from Kwesiapia, very, 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 very significant. Very significant.
Right, very significant. Let me just ask you this quickly. You say it's very significant, but sometime last month, when you were asked about whom you would prefer to lead the team, you didn't want Otto Addo. You wanted Chris Hughton for different reasons. And you felt that even with qualifying for the World Cup, we didn't need to as a country. But here we are in the state we find ourselves, economically speaking, and fuel prices and exchange rate. This has brought some joy to Ghanaians. So do you feel now that Otto Addo, looking at assessing his work, is the right man for the team?
Yes, I would say that, yes. And he's not alone. The Chris Hughton, who I wanted to head the team, he's still there. He's still there as part of the backroom staff. He's providing technical advice. You've got George Boateng, who has a wealth of experience, also providing technical advice. And you've got Didi Dramani there as well. And I believe all of them should be there. I believe they should be given some serious contract now from 2 to 3 years, and they should be given the support. The environment should be an enabling environment that allows them to proceed in the way that they have started, because they've brought on some new players, and I know there are going to be other new players coming on board, and it's totally turned the team around in a way that one could not imagine. So I believe that they should be there. I believe Otto is the right man for the job. Don't worry about me. I love humble pie, because eating this humble pie today, when my PA comes in, she's going to be working on tickets to Qatar. So don't worry about me. I absolutely adore humble pie.
Wonderful, wonderful trait of yours, the Nigerman. I'm proud of you there. But let me come now to Muftau Nabila Abdullah. You've been patiently waiting. We discussed this yesterday. What would be your assessment of the Black Stars' performance? Who were your top players, or those who shone the most yesterday for you from the Black Stars team?
Ben, I think you've asked me a very difficult question. Top players in this contest. First, I'll go for the goalkeeper.
Right.
I think Jojo Wellacott, who has received loads of flack from section of the Ghanaian media and supporters,
right,
has always shown that he's an animal when it comes to being in between the sticks for the Black Stars. He pulled up some of the most incredible saves in this contest. To be an offside. One he saved with his legs. There was another one he saved when nodded that ball. I think he was a man between Ghana and Nigeria getting a goal.
Right.
And that wall that provided the shield for the Black Stars and stopped them from conceding.
At a point, Muftau, at a point, we all had our hearts in our mouths, because, I mean, you think this one is definitely going in. And then Wallacott pulls a save.
Ben. This is already a goalkeeper, Ben. Many of us have got questions about. And for him to always step up and pull out some of the saves that he does, they are quite incredible. In Kumasi, when the Super Eagles were there, they had one big chance. He was the man who was between Ghana and Nigeria getting the winner. And he stopped them from getting that winner in Kumasi. And then the team was in Abuja on Tuesday night. He stepped up, put out some of the most incredible saves. Alexander, I think, big credit to the Black Stars. He's of the Black Star, and he fights last drop of his blood. Daniel Amate, what an incredible leader we've got at the heart of that Black Star. And Dennis Odoi comes in, making his debut, fitting into the team as if he was a part of this setup. Gideon Mensah, what a player. Then there was Thomas Partey. I would always give credit to Philip Afinajan for his ability to press, for his ability to run at the opponents, making it very difficult for them to attack you. Kudus Mohammed did not give his all. Yesterday, I was having a discussion with Georgia the Junior, and I mentioned that in my interaction with some people close to the technical team, they said they needed just 60% of Thomas Partey's ability and Ghana would be walking away with the tickets to Qatar. And indeed, when Thomas Partey showed up early in this contest, he found the back of the net, and that's what he's always done. In most of the games that he's captained in Kumasi, and Thomas Partey, what a leader he is. Then Kudus Mohammed, he did not give up his best, but I think Mohammed was great. He was great in this contest. Then you're talking about Elisha. This is a player who was making his debut in this game. And when Otto Addo decided that he was going to pull out Baba Idrisu and switch to a 3-6-1 formation, Elisha was an animal in the heart of that midfield. He was the man who was passing the balls more forward for this Black Stars team. He was a man who was more of a shield. He could hold onto the ball. He could release the ball. What a player he was. He was making his debut in the Black Stars. And guess what? They dropped me in the middle of the sea. A contest that was supposed to see Ghana qualify to the FIFA World Cup. And Elisha showed up. Then there was Andy Yadon who came on in the second half.
Right.
What a beast. Andy Yadon. Yesterday, Andy Yadon. It was great.
So basically, Muftau, you're saying that it was a team performance. Yes, we had some standout performances.
It was a collective team performance. And
right.
Guess what, Ben?
Tell me.
When Jordan Ayew was taken out, many of us would notice that in that area, they were able to attack us more. They were able to attack the Black Stars more by going to the corner ends and crossing. Right. In the presence of Jordan Ayew, he was covering grasses more for this team, making it very difficult for the Super Eagles to attack.
I think, Muftau, that one thing people have not noticed is that Jordan has ceased being your typical number 9, a crucial striker. He's a winger, basically. He can play both roles very efficiently. And when he's playing, he may not score, but he will create opportunities for others to score.
Ben, Otto will tell you that football goes beyond just the numbers. On that conference, when he was addressing the media, we appreciate the numbers. But football goes beyond the numbers. And that's where he said, if anyone wants to criticize Jordan Ayew, the person should first criticize him because he decides who plays and who does not play.
Exactly.
He decides how many minutes Jordan Ayew should play. And guess what? When I met him at the Black Stars Hotel as they were preparing to leave, he said, I told him, Otto, you have made history. The first coach to be part of the first ever Black Stars team that made it to the FIFA World Cup in 2006. You've led Ghana to the FIFA World Cup. And he told me, Muftau, we did this together. This is a man who gives credit to even people who do not kick football. And that clearly tells you that he's one man who rallies everyone around him. And you asked Nanajiman a question. Is Otto Addo the right man to lead the Black Stars? Quite difficult for anyone to speak now because in 180 minutes, he has shown that he can turn around lost interest in many of us. They have become prima donnas who lack of a player for everyone to throw his weight behind.
Right.
But in this contest, Otto Addo has shown that he can turn the fortunes of Ghana around. He can turn the fortunes of Black Stars around. And just to leave it on a funny note, he can even turn the fortunes of the city around.
And speaking of the city, just because you bring that in here, that he could even turn the fortunes of the city around. There's a comment coming in on Facebook from one Fiamale who says, Akakbu, I beg, stop saying this brought some joy to Ghanaians. Have the fuel prices reduced after the Stars won last night? But of course, we shall rejoice. Yeah, we shall rejoice because this is Ghana, Nigeria, and also because we've qualified for the World Cup. It's a national affair. But let me come to you, George. Do you feel that Jojo Wallacott, with these performances, has justified the fact that he should be number 1 between the sticks for the Black Stars?
I think he has made a case for, being in the post for the Black Stars for a few more games. There's one thing that's clear with Coach Otto Addo and the technical team. They continue to tweak. So you have to defend your space. You have to prove that you are the guy always. You have to continue to show improvement. the good thing about this team as well is that everybody in the team has got something to work on, and I'm sure the technical team will be doing that. I think that George Walcott has done so well over the 2 legs we've played. He's been improving gradually. He's been getting into the groove. So at the moment, as we speak, it stands that George Walcott is definitely the man to be in the post for us. And it's amazing because we have changed coaches from Sika Kono to Milovan and then to Otuado, and they all kept on keeping George Walcott in the post. That meant that they were clearly seeing something that we were not seeing. There have been a few mistakes that he has made, but I think that he's proving that he's one that we can work on. He's one that can grow up to become the best goalkeeper, for the country, the man that we are going to rely on. At this point, excellent work that he has done. Clearly going forward, the technical team, very sure, have a plan. This technical team is so hands-on. I like the way they had separated all the pieces of this game. They knew what to do the first 20 minutes. They knew what to do.
Just a consortium of coaches.
Yes, actually. They knew what to do at every point in time. And so I know that they have, and you could see even on the bench, Nanatman will tell you, that for the first time, I could see that roles are defined. I don't see everybody coming up and screaming and shouting at the boys. Right. Everybody was doing something on the bench, someone holding a video and everything. So I think that indeed, Jolo Walcott has made a very good case to get some more Black Stars games going forward and big Black Stars games.
Right. Do you concur? Do you agree, Nanajaman, that Jojo Walcott has justified his spot as number 1? And I want you, just briefly on that, then I want you to tell me, while we have qualified, which was the ultimate aim, what were the sticking points from yesterday's match? What are some of the things that the Black Stars ought to look at? What things did not go well yesterday?
Yes, well, first of all, when Jojo Walcott was selected, I was all for it. There was an issue about the level of football he was playing in the United Kingdom, and I had a lot of rows with other football enthusiasts.
Because he plays for Swindon Town. Some felt not the English Premiership or something, so why are we picking him?
Precisely. But, the truth of the matter is, in every way, the English Football League is much better than the Ghana Premiership. The Ghana Premier League. There's hands down. There's no doubt. The standard of play, the infrastructure, everything is much better. So I was confident when he came from day one that this is the guy who we should have in there. I think he's more than justified his position. He is the number 1 goalkeeper. No problems about that. Now, going forward, the issues that we've got to deal with, most certainly, it's about goal scoring. That is the main issue that we have to deal with.
The striking department.
Yes, it's about goal scoring. And I'm grateful that we've got 7 months in which to deal with it. I believe that every FIFA friendly day that is allocated, those opportunities must be taken. It can't be as we did before when we had a FIFA friendly day and then we would say, oh, the Black Stars don't have anyone to play. This cannot happen this time around because we need the squad to be gathered together as often as can possibly be. Because if just with 3 days, this technical team has created a winsome team, a winsome side, can you imagine what will happen over a 7-month period? I could see potentially that after 7 months, the Ghana Black Stars could be a team that could well breach the quarterfinals and be in the semi-finals of the World Cup. So first and foremost, it's got to be goal scoring. I think with a lot of the new players who are in, the Kudos, the Kamaldines, and the likes, we have to work on their decision making. We have to teach them to be aware of their colleagues around them, to be aware of the opposition around them, when in possession and when not in possession. In particular, when in position, what they should do with the ball. Should they move the ball on or should they do the tricks? Because I think that quite a few of them get caught up in exhibiting their skills, and they're quite skillful. But sometimes they exhibit the skills at a time when really they should have moved the ball on. And sometimes they move the ball on when they're in the ideal position to exhibit the skills, hold the ball, and perhaps try a shot or push a through ball.
So that's more of the technical angle, right? That's more of a technical play, which Chris Hughton should be focusing on. So that's a lot more work for him.
Yeah, of course, but it's good work, wonderful work, and I think their biggest headache will be who is going to be in the final 25-man squad, because you've had some players who were injured who weren't able to come up. Semenyo, for example, he's a striker of Bristol City. We see what he can do. We need to give strikers the opportunity. I believe, as it stands at the moment, form is important. We have Brighter J, who plays for Ediana Stars. He scored about 12 or 13 goals. Let's have a look at him. Let's see if he is the type of rough diamond that we can brush up and polish over the next period. I think we must still keep an eye on local players, because I think potentially there's 1, 2, or even 3 that could join up with this squad. So I'm not worried about defense.
So quickly, Nana Ajiman, you say 1, 2, or 3 of them could. That is the local players. If you had the opportunity, if you were coach, which ones would you be eyeing?
I wouldn't tell you that now. I wouldn't tell you that now, because there's quite a number of them, and we're talking about specific positions. What I would say is that the likes of Tariq Lamptey of Brighton, we need to talk back to him. Even Mohamed Salisu, who has rejected our calls severally, we need to go back to him. It doesn't matter if now his motivation is we've qualified. It doesn't matter. If the technical team believe that he can contribute to our success in the World Cup, then he should be involved. And you know, we've got to have two players for each position. We must, because 7 months is a long time, and there will be injuries and lots of different issues that will pop up between now and the World Cup itself. So there's a lot of work to be done, and I hope that the Ghana Football Association and the government alike will combine to create an enabling environment for our technical team to work in. They will provide the resources and the support that is required, so that whatever this technical team designs as the plan, the way forward to prepare the team for the World Cup, there will be nothing that will hinder and come in a hindrance in their way.
Right. Let me, Muftar, I'll come to you shortly, but let me go back to George briefly. George, so what are the problematic areas that, while we've won, we should be considering when it comes to the Black Stars? And do you also agree, as Nana Ajiman talks about the fact that we must broaden our net and look at other players? Former captain of the Black Stars, Asamoah Gyan, has said that Majid Ashimeru should be in the team. He was surprised he wasn't. What is your take on that? Do you feel it is apt now for us to invite the likes of Majid into the Black Stars?
Yeah, I think it's open. We have to get Ghana. So, and keep in mind some players were injured as well coming into these World Cup playoffs. So I think we would still have to go and do the search. We'll still have to look for players. You need option A, option B. Even if you can get opportunity option C, yes, you go for it, based on the way the coach wants to play. So I will be interested in finding out which players can make it and then fight great players. Yes. The next thing I would say about what we need, I think that in the final phase, in the third phase, in the final phase of our attack, we need to sort that out. I think that we have been able to organize a bit in defense and in midfield, but you look at how the midfield is connected with the attack. We've got a few problems there, and we have to raise a team that can score goals, because it's obviously important. A team that can score 2 goals, a team that can score 3 goals, that's important for me. At the moment, we don't have too many goals in our team, and that's why I looked back and said that, look, we were not going to score 2 goals. I felt that we will score a goal, and then if we're able to organize well, we'll be able to run away with the qualification. So these are the areas that we have to work on. We have some great talents like Afena-Chan, Osman Bukhari. These are all great guys, but we need to develop a proper system up front to make sure that we can get the goals, to free them, and then we can get the goals. That's one of the things for me. And then, of course, in midfield, clearly more, roles have to be defined. Who is breaking up play, who is carrying the ball, who's progressing the ball is important. At the moment, I think it's at the back, really solid. We have the left back and right back. I'm sure there'll still be more shouts for players to come in, and then You look at the midfield, quite a lot of work to do. Like Nana said, 7 months is a lot of time, and we have to work ourselves into a lot of friendlies to make sure that this team is ready.
Okay. Before I go to Muftau, 2 messages. Nana Kwame Redu says, at the moment, Walcott is the best option and we should develop him. Let's not treat him like we did Kwarase. You remember? Kwarase joined us and it didn't end so well. He also says, Nanajaman, that is, he's addressing you, coach. He says, let's not be fooled. This team hasn't won a game. They drew both games, so please don't say it's a winsome team. If you have a reaction, hold on to it. When I get back to you, you can share that reaction. But Muftau, so looking at the team's performance so far, what are the gray areas, the trouble spots that we ought to be looking at to get ourselves, ready for the Mondial in Qatar?
First of all, on the players, what I would say is that Ghana Football Association should be clear on who leads the Black Stars after tomorrow. Because the agreement with Otto Addo ends on March 31. And if the agreement with Otto Addo ends on March 31, are they extending the agreement with him? Because as we speak, I am pretty sure Otto Addo will be interested in leading the Black Stars to the FIFA World Cup. Though Borussia Dortmund wants him, they want to mold him to be the man who could be leading the team sometime to come. But Otto would say that it's a privilege to manage the Black Stars. It is a privilege to lead a national team he was part of in 2006. And if the GFA should have a clear commitment at technical team, that is good. In terms of players, George and Nana has all touched some of the incredible areas I think that
before you get there, and hopefully you can be brief on that, but I just wanted to sneak in. So with renewing the contract of Coach Otto Addo, if we are to go by Mr. President's interactions with him, and of course the president of the land is not the president of the GFA, and I know the dynamics in there because there shouldn't be too much interference, but we had Mr. President congratulate him and even suggest that he should be careful because when it comes into Ghana, would kidnap him and not allow him to go back to Dortmund. Isn't that suggestive of the fact that it's already, signed, sealed, and delivered? He's going to be the man.
It is not signed, sealed, and delivered because if people are to stand by their words based on what transpired, in fact, I think that he takes the job.
Right.
Friday, effective Friday. That will be 1st January. That will be April 1, effective. So if people have to stand by their words, but things can change. At this point, the GFA president can go to the office of the president and tell him, I told you I needed Otto Addo. Otto Addo is here. He has qualified Ghana to the World Cup. I want Otto Addo to continue. That can be a sticking point for the GFA president to argue why he thinks Otto Addo is the right man. But there's also the other angle. Would people be willing to stand by their words that they had made between January 28th and February 6th when Chris Hughton was in Ghana? Because a couple of meetings were held. Chris Hughton had a meeting at Jubilee House. He had about 3 hours meeting with the Minister of Youth and Sports. He had about 2 hours meeting with the GFA President, Ketu Kreku. He was in touch with him on phone. Most did them. Almost every weekend, he was flying from Germany to the UK team. He was with Chris Hughton before he flew to Roma to meet Felix Afinajan. So it's quite difficult for one to sit here and say that the conversation the president had with Otto Addo is like a signed and sealed agreement. And let me just add one thing. Though not too directly involved here, when they reached an agreement with Otto Addo, they decided they were going to give him half the money they were giving to Milovan River. That's $15,000. For the 2 matches, they are giving him $30,000. In Borussia Dortmund, this is a man who earns close to 60,000 euros or more. So how much is enough to pay Otto Addo? Well, but the conversation we've picked up so far, Chris Hutton is willing to take something like $80,000 as head coach of the Black Stars. But if they want to give the job to Otto, this is a job. We say that security. Otto for now is earning the appraisals of every. But should the Black Stars start flopping, you and I will be demanding for his card, claiming how inexperienced he is, because we've always claimed that we want people who are very experienced. And Nanajiman here will tell you that coaches, when you're going to hire a coach, you go for the experienced hand who has done it over and over again. Otto has proven that even newbies can get it done. He has qualified Ghana to the World Cup, but it's pretty difficult for Otto to continue as head coach of the Black Stars. I'm not sure what would happen because many things can change. I'm sure when they were in the flight back to Ghana, many conversations might have transpired.
Right.
But I think that at this point, it's going to be very, very difficult. On the players that I wanted to talk about, the left back position has always been an area of question. I think
and Muftau, you'd have to be very brief, very, very brief with that one. Go ahead.
So needed surgery. I don't know the kind of surgery he was talking about. That the team needed some mental surgery. I don't know if Otto has done that mental surgery to this team to see them qualify to the FIFA World Cup in the space of 180 minutes of football. I clearly think that many personnel will come in, but whatever happens between now and November, where there's likely to be the availability of Kalin Personadoy, Tariq Lamptey, Mohamed Salisu, because a contingent has been put together to meet his parents. And I think that whatever happens between now and November, we're probably going to have so many changes to this Black Stars team. A surgery again in certain departments of the team, I think is a possibility.
Do this. I want two of you to address two different things, and that's how we'll wrap the conversation. Muftau, when I come to you after Nanajiman, I would have you react to this bit about the scenes we saw. People pouring onto the pitch, Nigerians, and the sort of things that happened. There was a Nigerian player who nearly attacked one member of our technical team. I would have you react to that. And then Nanajiman, if you look at, just to extend the conversation, because we know Cameroon, Senegal, Tunisia, and Morocco are joining us. Now, in the Egypt-Senegal tie, we saw the use of lasers even while the Egyptians were playing penalties and all of that. Is it acceptable? Should there be sanctions? Some say that was why Mo Salah missed his penalty. What would be your take on that, briefly? And then, Muftau, you take the other question.
Well, lasers have been in the game for a long time. We've had this going on for some time, and we've not been able to stamp it out of the game entirely.
Even the Egyptians cannot complain. They did it to Ghana in 2013 during the World Cup Qualifier. So why are they complaining?
Yeah, but I'm not speaking about whether or not Mo missed his penalty because of that. I'm just saying in general terms, this is something that is very difficult to stamp out in the game, because I don't know what those gadgets look like, but I think they're probably some slim like torch. They fit into the pocket very easily, and you just can't legislate against it. I think, but unfortunately,
Nanajiman, if you can hear me, well, we apparently have lost Nanajiman. He was making an important point there. I think the thrust of it was that we've not been able to do much about it, and maybe he doesn't know how much we can do about it from the FIFA standpoint. But quickly with you, Muftau, so the crowd pouring onto the pitch, that yes, is not acceptable. Do these actions come with sanctions? And I mean, this is where people get beaten and all of that. How did that happen?
And then just to give you some sad news, a CAF official apparently died after the supporters had attacked the field. Apparently he was beaten, he fell, they shouldered on him, he was unconscious just at Ghana's dressing room, just in front of him. And
is this the Dr. Kabungo person?
Not too clear. His identity is yet to be made to us. Understand that he couldn't make it despite attempt to resuscitate him at the ambulance. It's quite unfortunate news we hear this morning. I I cannot understand how the security allowed the fans to break through the gates and came onto the pitch to attack. They destroyed the goalpost. They destroyed the substitute benches. They were chasing the players to beat them. They were even standing outside waiting for the players to beat them. The Black Stars team had to be held hostage for more than 1 hour. Both teams were not able to come for a post-match press conference because of security concerns. And these were some of the things that you wouldn't like to see in the game of football, because this is sport that people come out to have fun. But when emotions go sky high, it becomes very difficult to control. And these are some of the things that are not pretty in the game of football. CAF will definitely start losing. Would be a big point that the Nigerian Football Association or Federation and take the decision.
I missed your connection is patchy. Did you say CAF would definitely sanction Nigeria?
Definitely, CAF will sanction Nigeria because they invaded the pitch. If you allow spectators to invade the pitch, some of these things are always going to happen.
Muftau Nabila Abdullahi, thank you so much for staying with us, and we would gladly welcome you back. Just stay safe. George Addo Jr. also joined us.
We are actually saying, let me just tell you a quick one. We had a Nigerian colleague, Oluwashina. He came to where the Ghanaian journalists were. Myself, George Addo Jr., Fench, Daniel Cranfin, Eric Asiedu-Boadi, Alex Robinson. So he took us. He took the Ghanaian journalists to a certain point. He told us, be calm. Nothing will happen to you. So just stay there. He asked security. We sat down there a couple of minutes. Then he came and said, let's go to the press conference. Even when we were, he advised us, jubilating, just be quiet, just sit down. Whatever someone does, just keep quiet. And we had to. So we sat down there quietly, waiting for whatever was going to happen. But one clear thing, he said he was going to have the people who were threatening us arrested. And that was more of a surety for us. And we sat down there calmly. And I'll give credit to Oluwashina. He's a great colleague. He works for the BBC. We know him so well. And he was more of our security guy at the stadium when all these messy things were happening.
Right. Kudos to Oluwashina for that humane treatment there. Thank you very much, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. George Addo Jr., editor with our Joy Sports team, joined us as well. Nanajaman, coach, thank you so much for connecting with us. All right.